Hey folks, welcome to I Heart Board Games, where today we are playing Oceans. We've got four players at the table. We got Jeremy, we got Sagan, we got Ronald, all with in mind the Southern Board Game Festival, which is a board game festival here in Louisiana, in Lafayette. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
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 So,
I'm really looking forward to playing Oceans today. I actually have not gotten a chance to play this one, but it's on my list for a while of things I wanted to try out. So it's gonna be fun.
yeah, I really like the way it looks on the table. I like the art style they chose. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But you'll be
For
doing
sure.
a run through for us, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can go ahead and get right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Despite the fact that I haven't played before, I've done my homework a little bit. And if I screw something up, which let's be honest, it's a little bit inevitable, Jeremy has actually played before, so he's going to correct me. So if we get something wrong, blame Jeremy, not me. All right, just going to get that one out of the way right now. So Oceans is a game which is played over many repeated turns. Everybody's going to have 4 phases in their turns, and in these phases we're going to be playing cards to add new traits to species that we're creating. We're going to be having those species feed to survive. We're going to be aging those species, which is going to be one of the primary ways that we're going to be banking points for the end game, and then we're going to have a little bit of a cleanup phase, as most games do. Basically, the game is going to continue until we have drained the entire ocean board, which you can see in the middle of the table, from all of those fish that are out there. The fish are population tokens. They are food. Anytime that we feed, we're going to be taking those fish from those tokens from various places they can be, depending on certain rules. We're going to be adding them to our own species boards. And then from our species boards, they'll eventually go into a bank, a personal reserve that's going to be our primary scoring indicator at the end of the game. So each turn is really simple. First off, in the setup, we've each got a hand of 6 cards to begin. 6 is the basic hand size. At the end of every turn, when we clean up, we're going to be drawing up to that hand size of 6. So on your turn, what you're going to first do is play 1 card from your hand, just 1 to start with, although that can change later, or that will change later in the game. Right now, you actually have nowhere to play a card. We don't have any species on our side right now. So one of the things you can do when you play a card is to take one of the species boards from the left over here, put it in your zone, and you're going to play one of your cards. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to just throw out maybe this card right here, just for demonstration's purpose. And it's going to actually go next to this blue line on the left-hand side of your card. Now, one thing to consider when you're adding a new species is that it does matter what it's adjacent to. So you're allowed to, within your own zone, play your species wherever you want. You can add it to the left of a new species. You can add it to the right of a new species. If you have, more than that, you can put it in between species. But adjacency carries over to your neighbor players as well. So right now, if I've got this particular species going right here, it's going to be adjacent to whatever Jeremy's got in his zone. Jeremy's are going to be adjacent to Ronald's, and Ronald's are going to be adjacent to Jesse's up here in the top. And then so the board's going to wrap around the entire way, and adjacency is going to matter later in the game with some specific aspects. Actually, you can see on this card in the middle right here, on this, it says after a species overpopulates, adjacent species lose 3 population. So that's something that you're going to want to keep in mind, that what you're adjacent to can definitely affect the way that you play the game. Anytime I play a card, I can either put it on a new species board and put that new species wherever I want within my own zone, or I can add a new trait card to an existing species. So if I want to change this guy that I've already got right here, I can throw a new trait card down. The base maximum trait cards is 3. There are some modifiers that can allow you to add more than 3 trait cards to a single species, but by default, you can always add up to 3 traits to a specific series. Make sense so far?
Yep.
Cool. So, just for the sake of it, I'm going to go ahead and throw this card down as well to talk about some other aspects of the game. Next up is the feeding. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one important thing when playing a card. When you play a card, you don't have to add it as a trait to a species. You can also add a card for its migration value. So if you look at the bottom left, real tiny of each card, there is actually a number with little wave arrow looking thing by it. That's the migration value of that card. So instead of playing that card as a trait on a species, you could discard that card and get its migration value. The migration value is going to allow you to move that many numbers of fish from one zone to another zone. So, for instance, I could migrate 8 fish from the reef over into one of these 3 ocean sections, or I could migrate 8 fish from, say, this first ocean section into a different ocean section. So the migration numbers are how we're going to be kind of manipulating each of these sections of the board, and the sections of the board are going to do a couple of things for us. One, the reef is special because that's the only place that we're going to be able to forage fish from. So species that are foragers, they're going to be taking their fish from here. If they don't have fish in the reef, there's not going to be fish for them to take. They're going to have a harder time eating. These first 2 ocean spaces here, you'll notice, have a card underneath each one. If the space is ever completely emptied out, then this effect is going to be in play for as long as that section remains empty. So the shallow gene pool, maximum number of traits per species is reduced by 1. Contagious outbreak, after a species overpopulates adjacent species, lose 3 population to the reef. Those effects will only happen if these areas are completely empty. And finally, this Cambrian Explosion card, you can see that it says play 2 cards per turn instead of 1. Age 2 cards per turn instead of 1. You may play deep cards. So whenever this first section goes away, the Cambrian Explosion card comes out, and it's in effect for the rest of the game. So it's really going to accelerate our progress, being able to do a lot more once this Cambrian Explosion card comes out. That makes sense? Everybody good so far?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. So after the playing cards phase, you're going to take a feeding phase. You're allowed to feed 1 species that you have made. Only 1. So how you can feed a species is by using primarily these 2 numbers that are here. You see this speed card for this species has a green 2, it has a red 2. Okay, so the green is the forage value. If you have multiple green cards or multiple green numbers amongst your multiple trait cards, you can feed that number of fish from the reef. So since this has a 2 value for speed, I can pull 2 of these fish from the reef if I can grab them, and I can put them on my board here. Okay, so that would be an example of foraging. Even if you don't have a green number on your species, by default, every species has a forage value of 1. You never can get yourself in a situation where you can't forage anything, unless you have played a trait card with a big, a no symbol, a cross out symbol in the green section. For instance, if you have an apex predator card, you're no longer allowed to forage. The red value is its attacking value, essentially. And instead of taking fish from the reef, you're going to be taking those from other species. Again, it works the same way. This red number is going to be how many fish you take. But hypothetically, let's just say this is a new species that I've got here. I can use this red 2 to steal 2 fish like that from one species to another. You can attack your own species. You can attack other player species. It's totally up to you. So the reason you might want to do this, one is because obviously the fish are points at the end of the game. But 2, when we age our cards, we're going to be draining the fish from the board, and we're going to be putting them into our bags, which are our permanent point pool. If, for instance, I have to feed this right-hand species that I have here, the one with inking, and I don't have enough food on the board to feed it, it's going to go extinct. So right now, if I have to pay my 1 food for aging, well, I can say goodbye to this species. It's out of there. So you could attack another player's species and drain it of its own food supply and force it to go extinct, potentially, if they can't do anything about that. Attacking is offset by this yellow number down here, and the yellow number is its defense value, essentially. So anytime an attack happens, you will take the red number and subtract the yellow number for it to get your total value. So in the example that I gave before, when I stole 2 fish from this inking actually has a really high defense value of 4. So obviously 2 minus 4, that's going to come out to 0 fish that are getting taken. So that's the way that goes. Now, if you ever feed up to the point where a species gets all the way to this fish bone at the bottom, that means you've overpopulated that species. And so overpopulating the species is going to actually cut its total food in half. It's going to take 5 of the food off the board, leaving it only 5 remaining. So it's pretty inefficient to do that. Try not to do it. There are situations that you might get into accidentally overpopulating a species, because some species have things like, hey, if the neighbor gets attacked, you also get a food onto your board. Those things always happen. Once your trade's out, it's not something that you necessarily control in that way. So if that makes sense, then we can move on to the next phase, which is the aging phase. So as I already alluded to, aging is how we're going to be kind of banking our points. And in the aging phase, we're going to be taking 1 token, or if the Cambrian explosion has already happened, 2 tokens from each species board and putting it in our hidden screen, putting it in our bag over here. Those are going to be banked for the end of the game. I'm not sure, but as far as I'm aware, there's not any way to mess with that. Is that correct, Jeremy?
Yeah, as far as I know, there are some deep cards that play with certain aspects of it, but for the most part,
okay,
I don't think you can mess with another player's bag.
Gotcha. Okay, so the deep cards are you can pull tokens out of your own reserve, but I don't think there's a way to attack somebody else's banked tokens. Those will just be points for the end of the game. So obviously, the more species that you have out on the board, the faster you're going to be able to accumulate points, but also the harder that they're going to be to manage any individual species, and you might have them going extinct. So that's kind of the balance of the game. And the final thing each phase is to discard your hand and draw back up to 6 cards. Is it discard your whole hand, Jeremy, or is it just discard a particular cards that you choose?
Pick and choose. Yep, you can keep cards to carry over to the next round. You'll pick which ones you want to discard and then draw back up to a hand of 6.
Gotcha. Pretty simple stuff there. 6 is the hand size, and you'll have 6 cards ready to go for your next turn. Now, the Cambrian explosion here is also what unlocks the deep cards. So deep cards work a little bit differently than the surface cards. You're always going to be able to draw back up to your hand size in surface cards. Deep cards also count towards your overall hand size, but deep cards you're going to have to pay for when you take them, and the deep cards are actually paid for from your point reserve. Any banked points that you have, that's how you're going to be paying for the deep cards. And the number is just the bottom left-hand number of these deep cards. The deep cards tend to be a lot more powerful, though. If you'll notice, this gargantuan card that's showing here has a 9 attack value, which seems pretty crazy. When you draw a deep card, you can choose to take one of the 2 face-up cards in the gene pool, or you can actually draw the top 3 cards off the deck and choose one to keep. And the other 2 are going to go on top of these face-up piles. So kind of a risk-reward thing, because obviously you're paying your points, but you can get some good long-term benefits from those. After you draw back up to your 6 cards, though, play will pass to the next player. They will start their other turn with the playing cards phase and play 1 card or 2 if we're beyond the Cambrian explosion. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. The game is going to be over when, and we're going to finish the turn order whenever the entire ocean board has no more fish in it. So the reef does not count for that. So if we manage to migrate all of the fish into the reef, or we just eat them all, that's when the game end is going to be signaled. So without further ado, I'll throw these fish back over towards the reef, and I will guess I'll get going with the first turn.
One other quick thing about deep cards, you cannot discard them. So if you take them to your hand, they are stuck in your hand until you play them as either a migratory card or as a trait card.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. All right, let me draw my extra 2 here, non-example cards. Man, I really wanted that one. Shouldn't have used it in an example. All right. So I am going to be the start. And it's just for people at home, we did each start with a point token that gives us some bonus points depending on our order of play to start the game. So I'm first. What do I want?
Some of the cards have a blue triangle on them.
Oh, right. So the blue triangle cards are also going to be gaining population tokens, but they're from the ocean. Is the way that the blue triangles work. So, Jeremy, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. So typically, when foraging, when feeding, you can only pull from the reef. Cards that have the blue triangle on them are allowed to pull from any one of the 3 ocean zones.
Yeah, and it'll just it depending on the wording on the card is when that would activate. It's usually a passive thing if I'm not mistaken, right? Or did I have it wrong?
Yeah, a lot of times it is something passive. It'll just, instead of saying foraging or feeding, it'll say gains, and that's where you gain from one of the ocean zones.
Right. Okay. So that said, I think I will go ahead and throw out my first card, throw out my first species. Let's get... I don't know how I feel about this, but let's start with a tentacled species for my first species. So there's my 1 card play, and then I'm going to do my feeding phase. And tentacled says may feed 1 additional time, so I'm going to go ahead and grab feed 1 and feed 1 because it always has an inherent forage value of 1 and an inherent attack value of 1 as well. Every species has that. So that's all I can do there. Then I'm going to age the species. So 1 of these is going to go into my bag. And then it's going to be cleanup. So I'm just going to draw a card. And I'm done. So right. Jeremy's up.
Cool. I will also play a trait card.
He's got the speed that I shouldn't have thrown away.
Then I will feed. And I'm going to get rid of some cards.
Does the color of the fish matter, or does it just add flavor to the game? That's just flavor.
So it is it is flavor, but it also is a setup thing. So you know how sometimes games are like, count out 60 tokens, and you're like, why do I? Okay, yeah, sure. Like, I get that I have to count out all these tokens with different player counts, but so the fish are all identical mechanically, but it's just to ease the setup. So I think it's with a 2-player game, you only play with the orange fish. With a 3-player game, you add in the green ones, the yellow ones, and with a 4-player game, you add in the black blue ones.
Okay. So
it's just a much easier way. Yeah, it's just a much easier way to get the token number right, which personally I love things like that.
Yeah.
Make my life easier.
So I've made a grave mistake and drawn 6 additional cards. How do I put those back into the deck?
I don't know. Just leave them on top. I'm
Probably
sure
just
it'll be
one
fine.
at a time.
Yeah. I've made a huge mistake. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I love that Tabletopia does all the setup for us, but then also you get a situation like that.
There's not an undo button, unfortunately.
Oops. All right.
Cool. Sorry. Okay, so I drew back up to my 6, and now I will age.
No, that was me.
Oh, and one other thing, the color of the fish is not super relevant. You can take whichever one you like. The main distinction is that once all of the ocean zones are empty, it kind of triggers the last round. That's when we'll drop the reserve in there that has a different visual style.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's fine. All right, I think Ronald's up, right?
Okay.
That he got it.
There you go. That's the best to shuffle it. That way we don't know what those first 6 are.
I don't know what anything is.
I guess I have to play this card.
Okay.
Filter feeder.
Yeah. So then I'm supposed to get fish, right?
Yeah. So if you you feed, you're gonna forage, and your forage value for that fish is 5. Nifty.
It's an excellent card, and it never overpopulates.
Yeah.
How do I select? Here we go.
Ooh. How did you do that?
I held down Shift and
Then it allows you to
drew a little
drag.
box.
Excellent.
Of course, now I've got to the very finicky aspect of.
Yeah. Right.
Sorting them out.
Okay. So then, what am I supposed to do next?
So next is your aging phase. So since we're still in the pre-Cambrian, you just take one of your fish from each of your species and put it in your bag.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing to remember is you only feed one species each turn, but you age every species that you have. So you need to make sure that you've got enough, food to feed each species through its aging phase. So, but I think that's going to be you're going to be able to discard and draw what you want, and then Jesse's going to be up.
All right. While you're deciding what to do there, I am also going to play a species. Have this reserve thing in the way. Let's just go.
Take that bag.
Nah, I think it has to stay there. It's labeled and everything. It's fine.
Yeah. Take the reserve.
Yeah, it's not like Tabletop Sim where you pull every element everywhere. It's just gonna. It'll stay. It's fine. And we're going to get some speed. So that takes care of the playing cards phase. Now we're going to go to the feeding phase. I'm going to feed this species. With
feed it to
2 fish.
And then one is going to come straight back out.
Yep, jump into the aging phase. Age all species. This one's going out and going into the bag. And then finally we end with drawing cards.
So instead of him taking 2 fish from the center, couldn't he have attacked blue or yellow's species?
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Ooh, I should attack Ronald.
For sure. Yeah, he's looking high and mighty over there with all of his food.
That's all right.
I'm a bottom feeder. What do you want from me?
While you're getting your cards sorted out, I'll go ahead and throw down. I think I'm going to go ahead and get a little risky here, and maybe it's not as risky as I think. I'm going to go ahead and throw another species down, And this species is going to be symbiotic. So this one gains 1 after the species to its left, which is now my own species, forages or attacks. So that was my card playing phase. Then I'm going to feed with this species. So I'll go ahead and pull 2 from the reef for him.
So Ronald, our left and rights are backwards.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
What do you mean our left and rights are backwards?
Are y'all playing upside down? Oh,
No.
I guess you're playing right side up.
Right side up.
Okay, well then don't. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we agree on a path, that's
right. Just
yeah. So if player 2 is next to player 4, then I guess that's, I don't know. It complicates
No,
things.
I think player 1 and 4 are next to each other.
Yeah, so we have to treat them as upside down.
Clockwise. Yeah. Treat them. Yeah, that's a good point. Treat them as because
they use the words left and right.
This is to the left. Right. This is to the left of that.
Yeah.
4 is to the left of 3. Okay. So, and because this is the blue, I'm going to be able to take one from any ocean space that I want. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull from this center ocean space.
Yeah, that's
true.
And
now as I age, I'm going to pull 1 from here and 1 from here into my bag. And then I will discard some cards and clean up. So let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of... I'm going to go ahead and keep those and just draw 2. All right. Then I'm done.
Jesse, what I think I'm going to do is if I have a card with an arrow on it, I'm just going to flip that card upside down so that it points the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, whatever we need to do.
Because otherwise I'm going to be like, which one's to my right again?
Yeah, I don't mind playing it upside down.
Well, actually, it only matters the species that you have closest to blue is the only one that matters. The rest you can just keep in normal order.
True.
Oh no, I guess you can't, can you? Because I'm to your right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could just spin your camera all the way around and play that way.
How do I get over there?
You just hold the right click.
You just hold right click and drag, and you can spin it upside down.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting over here. Yeah.
Yeah, that it might obviously you have a harder time reading your stuff. If you hold shift and press any of your numbers, you can actually set a camera view. So what I would do is I would set a camera view of the boards and the cards that you could easily swap to, and then you could set a camera view of your own player area. So that way you don't have to like manually adjust the camera all the time. Even though I do, just as a habit. I set the camera views as well, though. It's pretty useful. All right, Jeremy is going for one big species. He's got a filter feeder over there as well. So got a big boy. Got a big boy just begging to get attacked.
Maybe. And that's me.
Okay, so here's an interesting question that I just had about mine. The tentacled says it may feed 1 additional time. The symbiotic says it gains 1 after the species to the left forages or attacks. So would this gain 2 if this feeds twice?
As far as I know, yes. Because it's technically 2 feed actions.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I shorted myself a fish before. I'm taking that other fish. Oh, it wouldn't actually come from there. It would come from the ocean. I forgot. All right. So I think Jeremy's done. So we're back to Ronald.
Yes, I am.
All right. I'm going to bring out some defense for this little boy here.
Big shield.
And then I think I'm supposed to grab 5 food, right?
Yep. You can forage with him to grab 5 more. You guys are going to drain the reef real quick. Real quick.
And then I get to take one of these fish to my bucket.
Correct.
and then I just draw cards. So
Correct.
I can do the drawing cards while Jesse takes his turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Draining the reef is not necessarily a bad thing, at least not for him. It just means that it'll force some of us to play migratory cards to be able to get more cards into the reef to eat.
Sure.
Or to develop predators to eat off of other people's cards.
Right.
All right. Mm-hmm. So on. Okay. So during Ronald's feeding phase, that was a forage that you did?
He did a forage.
Yeah, he can't attack. He's the bottom feeder.
True. On either side. Gotta pay attention to positioning here. Oh no. Lefts and rights, okay. Do I think? Yeah, what the heck? Let's go with
He's got a big play coming out. Ready for it.
No, I don't. I'm just trying to decide what card to put out. Let's tentacle this guy. Nothing crazy.
Okay.
And we're going to, clean out that reef really fast with 2 feeds here.
Yep. So that's 4 fish for you. Man. Okay.
All right. And then I'm going to age him out.
Yep.
And I'll draw cards.
All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play an additional trait here as well. I'm going to go parasitic on this tentacled parasitic monster. So I was looking through the rulebook. I didn't actually see this keyword, but I assume it's fairly self-explanatory. Leeches is just to take from their own supply. Is that correct, Jeremy?
Correct.
Okay. So parasitic, before your feeding phase, leeches 2 from the species to the left. And is that affected by defense?
I don't believe so, because it's not an attack.
Yeah, I assumed it wasn't. That's why I was going for that. So I'm going to leech those 2 before my feeding phase. And then I'm going to, obviously, I'm going to feed, which is going to pull 2 from my forage here. And I'm also going to gain 2 to my symbiotic fish that's foraging. And we're going to keep hitting this middle ocean space, I think. And then we're going to age each of them up 1. And we can go ahead and draw a card. And I'm done. Another thing that's interesting about this game that I did notice is that you're allowed to play multiple of the same type of card as traits on the same fish. Mm-hmm. So you got the speed card. You could have a double speed, triple speed. I guess they all say can play 1 extra trait, so you could just get speed forever.
Yeah, you could stack them if you wanted to. That's how this one differs from its predecessor, Evolution, in that you can play multiples. In Evolution, you are not allowed to play multiples of the same trait.
Yeah, but I'm golden. So let's see what Jeremy's got cooking over here. He's shuling. May not be attacked if population is 5 or more. And aging +1. Gonna really accelerate his speed there. Or his point gain.
It's a lot of fish.
Getting 7 per feed. I
guess because he never overpopulates.
He's only getting 5 out of it. I assume that you can't just take those 2 and leave them off to the side.
No, yeah.
them up.
If ever your board is filled,
Hoards the food.
if my thing could suffer from overpopulation, then obviously I'd lose 5. But because it can't, I just fill the board and then perform my age out as normal.
Right. But he is aging +1 this time. Yeah, Jeremy's a big believer in getting one absolutely indomitable species first, and then you move on from there.
Yes, but there's a deep card that'll make it kind of. I made a mistake on one of my virtual playthroughs where I added Leviathan, which is a really, really cool card that just can't be attacked at all, but it's also an attacker. And if you stack that trait with the cannot attack, kind of makes things difficult for you. Okay, cool. And then let me look at my cards and see what I want to get rid of or what I want to keep.
Yeah, I'm noticing now that. Yeah, you can probably go. I don't think you're gonna have to wait for Jeremy to do the math.
No,
I'm also noticing that one of these deep cards has a lightning bolt, which is a one-time play kind of a thing. So instead of using it like a normal trait card, it would be a one-time use. With this feeding frenzy card would be. Actually, some of the scenario cards have the lightning bolt one-time use thing on them as well, but neither of these 2 cards do. So these are just kind of like a toggle on-off depending on if this is full or not.
Yeah, and it just so happened that the 2 scenario cards that we drew were both blue. Those trigger. They're just on when the thing is empty. The purple ones will actually trigger each time it empties.
Right. Okay. Oh, he's got a parasitic species himself.
Yeah, so this one leached 2 off of this one, and then this one fed, and then they each aged 1. And now I'm going to draw a card.
That's it. Yeah, I don't think I could leech off of myself when Jesse's just right there to steal his stuff. I guess that one's to the right instead of to the left.
Yeah, the way it all goes around. A's wide are it's essentially evolution, but I think it's like the next step in evolution to evolution.
There you go. Yeah, I'm also noticing that some of the cards with the same text have different migration values and different arrows. Because like my parasitic card goes to the left, your parasitic card goes to the right. So that's interesting.
The reef
there's
is
variants
almost
on the same exact card.
3 cards left there, huh? Foraging only comes from the reef, correct?
Foraging is only from the reef.
The blue triangle is the ocean, so I might have to attack somebody.
Any ocean space. Yeah.
You can also play a card for its migration pattern and move fish from one area to another.
It's true. So you could play a migration card and move more fish back into the reef.
Yeah.
From the reserve.
Now, does that count as my card play?
It does.
Well, I already played a card. I already have schooling out, so someone's getting attacked here, and it looks like the parasitic tentacle guy has no defense.
It's true.
Everyone else has defense.
He can attack anyone at the entire table or only people to his immediate left and right?
Anyone.
That's going to be my target, and I get to feed twice, so I'm going to give me some food here.
Taking 4?
Yeah.
So, all good.
Nothing personal.
I am
just the way the ocean goes.
Sure. I'm still going to be fed. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I wasn't looking to into species here. If I wanted to do that, there were better targets. So I've aged twice because of +1. And that is me, except for the card draw.
All right. So I'll go ahead and finish this this species off with transparent. It may not be attacked or leached if there is population in the reef. Oh, actually, I didn't realize that in the reef part. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
There's a couple minor cards that are different. How would you say this is different than Evolution?
You know, actually, I've not gotten to play Evolution. I only played Climate. Was it the smaller one?
Right.
The smaller spinoff, Climate. Yeah, and that was several years ago.
Have you played it, Jeremy?
I haven't played it, but so I actually bought Evolution first, and thoroughly enjoyed the concept of it. Just kind of looking at how it plays and watching a few how-tos, and that's what led me to find this. And I like the aesthetic more for Oceans than I did for Evolution, though I consider Evolution to be a little bit more simple, right? Because you don't have two types of cards; you just have one deck.
I see. Yeah, it's a bunch of little things. You can see evolution in this game, but for the most part,
absolutely,
it stands separate.
Done.
Yeah, it's like they streamlined a bunch of the elements of it. Instead of having carnivores, like just the cards have a red value on them. It makes it just simpler.
Okay, Jeremy, you're up.
Good. Okay.
And of course, in Evolution, you just have one feeding hole, where here you have the reef and all these other different oceans and stuff. So that adds to the complexity of that part.
And a whole second deep game. I don't think there was anything like that in Evolution.
No, everything was just all
out
together.
No, he's blocking me from parasiting his gargantuan over there.
Why is it yellow? Oh, okay, never mind.
Just means it has a 4 of defense value, so if ever attacked.
The whole card was like tinted yellow, but it went away.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I got with that guy.
Yeah, put his shield up.
I'll scoot over a little bit. Alrighty. So I guess that's that. He's cutting my food down.
An important distinction to make, that whenever a species runs out of population but is able to successfully pay for its aging cost, it does not go extinct. However, if it needs to age and it cannot pay its extinction cost or its aging cost, then it goes extinct. So for example, if you have 0 population on a board and it must age, it would instead go extinct. However, if you have 1 on the board and you can successfully pay that cost, it does not go extinct.
Right.
This is more so crucial once the Cambrian explosion happens, because you'll be aging by 2 every turn. So if ever you have 1 on the board and you have to age by 2, it just goes extinct.
Right.
Though you do still gain the 1 for the aging.
All right. Is it me now, or?
Yeah, it's you.
Sorry, yeah, I just need to discard and draw, but you can absolutely play your turn while I'm doing that.
Okay, so if I want to make fish swim around,
you play a migrate card. So any card you want, you can discard it for the migrate value, and it can go from any zone to any other zone. So for instance, if you wanted to fill the reef back up, you could play a migrate card, take whatever number is there from any of the 3 ocean spaces, and then just dump it into the reef.
That's 7. Perfect.
7 cards in the reef. Look at that.
Okay, so then I'm gonna leech. This guy is gonna leech 2 fish I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From over here. And then this guy would eat 5, but he can only fit 3. So.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to bring all my fish down a little bit if I get another species in here. I can't move these other player boards that I'm.
Right.
Maybe they're locked or something.
I mean, we could always put it on the
that was
right side of
first
it.
thing I was looking at.
Yeah, fair enough. You just kind of extend out here infinitely.
Okay, and then I took 1 fish off of each and put it in my bag. And I'm going to discard a bunch of this junk because I've been holding it all this time and I don't want it.
I'm in the same boat.
Golden.
Oh, oops. I think I just put that on the top of the deck. Oh, I guess not.
Does the deck get reshuffled does discard pile get reshuffled when we're done with it there, Jeremy?
Yeah, if ever the draw deck runs out, you just reshuffle the discard pile.
Okay. I guess we should take better care to keep this discard pile nice and organized.
Yeah.
You can just I think you can group it up.
Is there a way to group the whole stack without individually stacking them all?
Let's see.
I'm not sure. Tabletopia. It's a great platform.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it would work.
We might not be great players, though. Yeah, I'll do a little maintenance while
all right.
Jesse's taking his turn.
All right. Played a.
Yeah, so the things will turn. The deck that you're going to will turn orange if you're going to accurately stack it.
Playing a parasite over here. It's going to leech 2. And now we're going to feed my original species.
Wow, we got a lot of parasitic species out there.
Yeah. Oh, you're transparent now.
Man. I'm transparent.
Yep.
You can't attack me. Go somewhere else.
I mean, I could go to your neighbor, the symbiotic boy.
That's true. You could. He's just kind of minding his own business. He's not too concerned about it.
He doesn't mind a loss of food. Oops.
Nah.
All right. Feeding twice off of this guy. I guess I could split them up, but I mean, I'm looking for people without defenses here. And he doesn't have defense.
Oh, yeah. Defense is overrated. Overrated. All right.
And then we're going to age this guy twice. And also the new parasite once. And that's that.
Okay. I am going to go ahead and throw out a symbiotic on this guy that was already there. So he's going to be super symbiotic he's going to be symbiotic with everybody. And now I'm going to do my double feed here, but instead of foraging with this tentacled parasitic transparent guy, he can't leech anything because Jeremy's got nothing here. But instead of foraging, I'm going to actually attack with him, and I'm going to go ahead and grab 1 from here and 1 from here with my 2 attacks. So, but that still counts as feeding. So my symbiotic is going to pull 2 from here as well. If I can grab them. And
I'm sorry. How did I lose a fish?
I attacked with my tentacled parasitic transparent guy because every forage value is 1, every attack value is 1 by default. And this guy doesn't have any defense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I pulled 1 from here and I pulled 1 from there since they're basically the same.
It's true.
And the reason I did that instead of pulling from the reef is just because I wanted to leave more fish in the reef, even though I know Jeremy's probably just going to take them. Maybe not, because otherwise this species is going to go extinct. I don't know what he's got up his sleeve, but unless he feeds this species here, it's going to go extinct.
Probably give another card.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and draw one and call it good.
There we go.
Nope, he's got symbiotic now. So what do you do? He's foraging everything out. It's all
You're
gone.
welcome.
And that guy's got just enough to feed himself now. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm noticing there's not been a lot of movement out on the ocean board here.
Not yet, but now that the reef is empty again, there's going to be some more shuffling and moving those things very much so.
It's all gonna happen so fast.
All right, is it me now or?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
Oh, I never drew a card.
Apex Predator.
Uh-oh, the parasitic apex predator is coming out.
Ronald likes to attack things.
He said sarcastically because I hate attacking things. But I think there's only like one person here I can attack at the whole table, which is this thing over here.
Well, keep in mind, Sagan is only able to not be attacked whenever the reef has population. Currently, the reef has 0 population.
It's true.
That's true.
This transparent guy is not transparent.
Well, in that case, I will. This one doesn't have any defense then.
Right.
Okay, so then
Like I
I'll
said,
just.
defense is overrated. I don't believe in defense.
The best defense
So
is
wait.
none.
The best defense is to ignore it. Not wasting my time with that.
That old saying.
You'll see.
You'll all see.
Okay, so I chose this species to feed, which was an attack. So then I just need to age 1 off of each. Is that right?
Yeah, you can still leech because this happens
yeah.
before the feeding phase.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay.
All right. That's your turn?
Yeah, I'm just going to discard cards and draw.
All right. Let me make this guy a whale cleaner because we've got a lot of whales hanging out. We're going to leech because he's a parasite. And then I need to feed.
A lot of the same cards over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we see this
Probably
guy
not that
again.
way in the deep.
Correct.
Okay.
So the standard deck will have duplicates of a core set of, I believe, 8 different types of cards. The deep, every single card in that deck is unique. There are no duplicates.
You know.
Jeez, I'm crow.
Interesting.
How does the deep become involved?
So you can technically be pulling deep cards now to your hand if you like what's there. Obviously, the 2 that are out are good, but they're specific circumstances. So you could be cashing those to your hand. The key point is that you can never discard them from the game unless you're playing them for the migratory value after the Cambrian explosion. And after the Cambrian explosion, which is when that first ocean zone is completely drained, we will then be able to play deep cards as well as the standard surface cards. The key point, though, is that to play a deep card, you must pay a card.
Or you pay points out of
I'm
your
sorry.
bag, right?
You pay points out of your cached food. Yes.
All right, second. Go ahead.
This guy attacked twice, right?
He did. Yeah.
Okay, so that means my parasitic guy is gonna, or my symbiotic guy is gonna pull 2 from the ocean board.
Correct.
Because that one's to my right. So I just wanted to clear that up. All right, let's go ahead and.
Jesse, did you activate this parasite?
Yes. He had no
Whoa.
fish on him at the time, so he took
okay.
2 and then aged 1.
I suppose since I need to do something bold here,
Ooh.
I will ignore the. What do we got going on over there? That's got that. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put down a. I'm gonna go ahead and put down a migratory card for 9, and I'm gonna actually pull it from here.
The reef is back.
That's what you think. It's 8. I missed one. I'm putting these guys over here. I'm not putting them in the reef. And I'm going to now use my tentacled guy to attack. And I'm going to go ahead and attack this guy once. And I'm going to attack this guy once. However, by attacking, this guy's going to actually pull 2. So 1, 2 from there. Oh, I didn't get the other one. And then I will I'll call it good. Actually, I'll go ahead and drop that one as well and draw a couple more. But I'm done.
Cool.
An apex predator has appeared. That's a good way of stacking these to where save some room.
Yeah, just given how the board is kind of, or at least the layout for this particular thing with your
Yeah, I agree.
your supply being right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got him out. I'm actually going to attack your symbiotic set there, Sagan. For 3, you have no defense, so I will be taking 3 of those fish.
Okay. Told you, defense is overrated.
When does a species actually die?
Whenever it has to pay an aging cost, and it can't.
Okay, so no one can be attacked into death.
No.
Oh, you know what? I didn't age these species at all. They should have 1 less each. I think it might not even be the first time that I've done that.
Points.
Yeah, I haven't. I think there's probably been a couple rounds I haven't banked any points, but you know, that's only going to hurt me at the end when I forget to do that. So
Points are like defense. Who needs it?
Yeah.
not me. Telling you, defense is overrated.
Cool. I'm done.
All
All right, Ronald is up.
What do I want to do?
Not play defense, probably.
You got some defense. Everyone's scared of defense right now.
I'm bringing out another.
Another?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to make fish.
Oh wait, I don't want to do that because it's not going to have any. It's not going to have any fish on it.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to live. He's got to live.
I guess I could play a card to like move fish.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it says 7 on it. I put it down over there now. I can't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 7. The question is, where are you moving 7 from?
I'm going to take 7 from in here.
Okay.
And I'll just slide them over here.
Okay. And just to be clear, you can put them in any zone you want to.
Yeah.
You don't have to like cycle them through. Okay. I was just making sure that you knew.
Yeah, okay. And then before I feed, this parasite is going to leech 2. So 1.
I'm looking at the rules right here. There's a piece of information that I hadn't paid attention to before. So on the draw cards phase, you draw from the surface deck until you have a total of 6 cards in your hand, including surface and deep cards.
Right.
And then, the surface deck runs out, shuffle the discard pile to form a new deck.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, and then this one, oh, there's no fish in there.
There are none.
Well, that's why I was saying you could put those in somewhere else if you wanted to.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm not that smart. Oops, I got 1.
How many did you need?
I think it was 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It was 7. Yeah, you're short 2.
I just need 2 more. There's 1. There's 1.
Go.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use my filter feeder to get 5 fish. Which one's gonna go in the bag, and the other 4 are gonna go in here.
Right.
So you're doing my whale cleaner is going to gain 3 because he's the closest whale cleaner to you.
Yep.
Take it from the ocean.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go ahead and put them back in the reef, just because I knew that they would be taken by the time I could do anything useful with them, aside from my immediate feeding. Yeah, it's hard to for me to get a sense of how aggressive you're supposed to play this game.
Right. Yeah.
And like I love the look of it. It's kind of hard to see these fish. I'm sure that wouldn't be a big issue in the physical, but like in this implementation of it, it's like they just fit right in.
I had to do a full pickup on there to make them highlight, then I could see them.
It's less of a concern with the physical one for sure, but they also do have if you back the Kickstarter, if you get a Kickstarter edition of the game, alternatively you can actually purchase directly from North Star Games. They have an acrylic set,
literal fish tank. Scoop out the
dead fish and dump them on your table.
Kickstarter Deluxe.
Yeah, there's actually some confusion about that. So there's a standard version of the game, right, which you can just purchase at any friendly local game store or online on their website. There's a limited edition which contains most of the Kickstarter content, but it's missing the acrylic fish and it's missing the linen bags. And then there's the actual deluxe edition of the game, which is the full Kickstarter edition of the game.
Gotcha.
You done, Ronald?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get.
You never want to be missing your acrylic fish. That's a rule that I've always lived by.
Yeah, I opted to purchase that set too. The only downside to me is that it almost doesn't fit the visual aesthetic of the game because they're like green, blue, yellow, red. in the same amounts as if you were using the standard fish in the game. They're just not the super colorful ones. They're static, one single color.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Let's see. So I'm going to feed twice.
Okay.
Can I attack, target 2 different things?
I think so, because it's feeding twice. So I think each one counts as its own.
Right.
A single attack can only attack one thing.
Right.
Okay.
Unless otherwise stated by cards.
Right.
Okay. So I think one attack will be on one of these defenseless ones. Seems strange to attack my own guy. He does have the most stuff. It really doesn't make sense otherwise. So I'm just going to take it from...
Can't take it from there.
And why is that?
There's stuff in the reef. There's stuff in the reef.
Well, I'll pick that up first. My first feed. And now I see you.
That's true.
And I could have always went for the other guy over here, but I'll take this one. I like that fish.
It's true. Okay.
And now he forged an attack twice. So from the ocean comes symbiotic. Twice. And that also blocks off your symbiotic. Although, the symbiotic has just taken from the ocean. So would that trigger for you?
No,
that is not a
because
forage
it says
attack.
Gains when forages are attacked.
So what's the term for that one?
Yeah, gains is a distinction from feed, which is to forage or attack.
Okay, so what's the blue one called then?
Gain.
Gain.
Oh, it's just called gain. Okay. All right. Well, these are going to age. 1, 2.
Jesse's pulling down 4 points a turn.
That one turn. And
well, maybe someone who's attacking should do something about it. I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in defense and I don't believe in attacking.
It's your turn, pacifist.
Got it. All right, we are going to...
He's going to play that gargantuan
probably...
card.
Well, what'd you say?
You're going to pull that gargantuan card and change your ways.
Nah, wouldn't do it.
It's pretty massive.
I think that it would probably be best for me, given the current circumstances, to... I'm going to go ahead and play this migration here. That's 11. How many are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are in here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this thing. Not afraid of any Cambrian explosion. Let's dump these not in the reef. And I'm going to attack with tentacled. His parasitic is going to pull first from this guy. And then I'm going to attack with tentacled twice, which is going to be against this guy.
That's why he's there.
And then that's going to symbiotic twice with that guy. And then we are Cambrian explosion time. So now, from now on, okay. My first card made this happen. So does that mean I now get to play a second card? Does this happen immediately?
Excellent question.
To the rule book, I guess.
Yeah.
We pull this up right quick and see if I can locate it very quickly.
If the Cambrian explosion begins during your play cards phase, you may immediately play a second card, surface or deep. If it begins afterward, in this case it did, you may not return to the playing cards phase to play a second card.
Oh, there we go. I can go ahead and take a deep card, I guess. So I think I'll Oh well, no. I guess I can only draw a deep card in my phase. I got to play from my hand still. So, wait, how would you have a deep card in your hand before that? Could you always take a deep card?
So yeah,
You just can't play them.
Right. So whenever you have to during the discard phase, technically the first action of the discard phase is to choose to draw a deep card if you would like. And you can either take one from the face up or three from the top of the deck, pick one, and then the other two go over top of the other two that are on the board already.
Sure. I was just saying that you can't play them until you get to the Cambrian explosion. Correct. But you could pick them up before. I was just thinking that it was all one thing. Like I kind of thought that area wasn't. It was kind of locked until Cambrian explosion happened.
No, we just happen to have two that weren't super. For our game type, for the type of players that we have at the table right now, those are two very aggressive cards, right?
Sure. All right. So anyway, I'll go ahead and play my other card as well to let's go ahead and drop this other defense card as well as a migration card. And also, after a species overpopulates, adjacent species lose 3 population to the reef. That's just a thing that's happening now. And we are going to take 10 of these. Whoops. Maybe I can grab 10 in one shot. How many do I have here? That's 8 of them. 8, 9, 10. And we're going to dump them all into the reserve right here. And I'm going to age twice for each of these guys now. And that's my turn. And now when I'm drawing, I can draw from the deep. And I think I'm going to look at 3.
Yeah, just
guess I'll
put them in your hand.
Yeah, I meant to draw them. Instead I took them.
Right.
So what do I want to keep here? Okay, I think I'll take that one. Oh, that's interesting. Man, I like some of these.
Okay, so I played Tentacled to my filter feeder, my big filtered feeder. And then I played a second card to migrate 11 fish from the reserve to the reef. And now I'm going to feed twice with my big boy filter feeder.
I'm going to whale clean that.
Oh, we're back to the reef?
Yes. And so that allows my guy to take a total of 14. However, he's only got 6 free spaces on his card.
After a species with 3 or
more. But he can't
forages.
overpopulate, right?
Correct.
So would I whale clean you twice, I guess? If you're feeding twice?
Yeah, I believe so. Whale clean after a species of 3 or more forages, gain 3 if this is the closest whale feeder on either side. Yeah, I mean, I'm taking the forage action twice, so.
If the shallow gene pool takes effect, would we all have to discard? Down.
Correct.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's go ahead and we'll get rid of this one. See you later, Transparent. It's been fun.
Well, everybody doesn't have to discard. Some people only have 2 traits to begin with.
And I'm good because I have speed. So I figured that won't affect either of us, but the other side of the table.
I mean, I wasn't really using it that much anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just here.
It was there, and yeah, why not?
Okay, let's.
Oh, I completely forgot to pay my my tokens out of my bag for the. Wait, you play when you pay the tokens when you take the card or when you play the card? I can't recall.
Wait for what?
When you
for the
play
deep
it.
cards. When you play it. All right. So I don't need to do that just yet. Go back in there, tokens. Honestly, I'm really just wondering how many times this game I've forgotten to
Age your cards.
how many times I've forgotten to age. Yeah, to age.
Oh, you got rid of
Take
speed?
my points.
Yeah, I got rid of my speed.
So now you need to go down again because your max is 2 still. Because
The max is
That's true.
It's 3 on traits.
well,
Yeah,
shallow
but
pulls
we're in
out.
shallow gene pool. It's reducing it to 2.
Oh, 1%. Okay. I was thinking since the maximum number of traits is reduced, you could pull the one off and then it'd be okay.
It checks
okay.
after something's
Sure,
removed.
sure. That makes sense.
Right. You gotta dip on this other species too.
Oh, you're right. I do. Okay.
So yeah, that move really only hurt one person a lot.
Yeah. Thanks.
Probably the person who needs to be hurt a lot, if we're being
yeah,
honest.
there has to be some aggression here.
Okay.
Ocean's
well,
a
in
scary
that
place.
case, I will actually keep my speed.
Sure.
Yeah, I expected that. That's why I was surprised when you got rid of it.
Yeah, like I was saying before, it's just like it's hard for me to figure out the point of like how aggressive are you like is the game intended to be played?
Correct. Yeah.
Because any game that's got kind of like an almost an engine building kind of a thing like this, I never want to do the attacking side of things. I never want to do like the attack and like I just kind of ignore that. And it hurts me in games like this, but it's just not my style. I think you've got 2 fish stacked one on top of the other right here, Jeremy. I don't know if you realize that.
Okay, that was probably
stacked. There were 2 stacked up in the same spot, so I didn't know what your actual count was supposed to be, but
that's probably an extra fish, no doubt.
Toss it back in the water, I guess.
It would have come from the reef because that's where I fed from last.
Gotcha. Have you guys ever played The Flow of History?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people really love The Flow of History, especially a lot of people in the Gumbo game group. They really, really love The Flow of History.
Mm-hmm.
I hate The Flow of History, if I'm being perfectly honest.
BJ loves that game.
I have it. I like it.
I mean, it's just I can't ever find a balance that I like between like I gotta build up my defense, I'm gonna attack people I'm not interested in that. And so as a result, every time I'm just like, it's what's happening here where I want to try to build up something cool and then everybody just like beats me up over and over again. And I'm like, I still don't care. I don't
trying
want
to save you from overpopulation.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, you still get the aging. You still get the points you're earning.
Right.
I don't think
I like a game
there.
that's like explicitly aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Like any kind of like area control game or like military stuff. Like I don't mind that. Or a game where it's like the whole thing is to attack people. I like those games. And a game that's completely like like the solitaire multiplayer. I really enjoy those. But the ones that try to like do a little bit of both, I always struggle with them.
Yeah, we're trying to save you from winning.
Not me. I don't struggle with that at all. I mean, if they give you a choice, I'm going to do me. And if somebody else gets, the short end of the stick, that's kind of their fault.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one who gets the short end of the stick on all those.
Says the guy who's been leeching off of me this entire game.
Oh, by the way,
Well,
are parasitics optional, or
some of
or
it?
Do they have to happen every turn?
No, they have to happen.
Okay.
They have to happen. Yeah.
Right, unless they can't.
Right. Once you play a species, it kind of you've released it. It's doing its own thing. You can.
Okay, is it my turn now, or?
Yes. Sorry, I've drawn back up. You're good. You can play.
Okay.
Ew. Should I move over a little bit?
We are rapidly approaching game in, though.
Are we really? Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That
It's
third
gonna
ocean
be. It's
zone
gonna
is
be
getting
way
close.
more rapidly.
Yeah, I mean the 2 on aging is the biggest thing here. I mean you're gonna have that happen much quicker now. You know, you're going to have stuff dying quicker too, since it has to age twice.
Sure.
These daggum fish. There's a fish underneath here.
Oh, I see.
Oh no. Oh no.
There.
Okay, and then so this one should have, before that even happened, leached from the left, from over here. I mean, from the right.
Just any time
Just need to
before
zoom in
feeding.
more. What's that?
Any time before feeding, which you haven't fed yet. So.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I
you
just
did
fed. I
feed.
just did it out of
Okay.
order. Yeah.
Oh well, that means the well cleaner kicks in and overpopulates.
Uh-oh.
Oh well, if you overpopulate, then that means.
Oh, we got a fish here. There's a fish in this zone, so it's not on right now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was a fish in there. Well, it's hard to see.
Right.
So where did these go?
I don't know if that fish was supposed to be there. The overpopulated fish. They go back into the reef, I think. Is that right, Jeremy?
Thanks,
I'm
Southern
double-checking.
Board Game Fest.
Overpopulation.
May put the lost population in the reef or any one ocean zone. It's
Correct.
your choice.
Oh, you're overpopulating.
So if you
too?
don't want
What's going
Sega to
on?
be invisible,
Oh, no,
absolutely.
you're-
put it
No,
in.
I'm aging.
Okay. Oh, so you said they can go.
It's your choice of it's your choice of where to put them. Yeah.
I kind of like everything that's happening right now.
Why do you only have 4 fish there?
Oh yeah, I should have added one first. You can come from here,
Right.
and then it overpopulates.
Right.
All right. The other 2, because I was earning 3, I only earned 1. I mean, I'm gonna throw them all back in the reserve anyway. It's fine. Kind of like all the chaos that's going on.
That's the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean.
Chaos.
Yeah, or chaotic fish. All right, Ronald. Status. Not going for the deep.
Yeah, I'm drawing my card, so I'm done. You can go ahead. I already aged everything.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna draw from this thing over here, though. The deep.
Mm.
All right.
Okay, let's go with. I mean, we got some defensive there. Not much defensive there.
What happens to the ones I don't want?
They go on top of the 2 discard piles over here in the gene pool.
Correct. Creating another
And
set
I think
of
it's
face-up draw cards.
Yeah, and I think it's just one on one and one on the other. I don't think they both go together.
Yep.
Okay, so we have 1 fish here, 1 fish in the reef.
Wow. Ignore all defense and leech from both sides.
Those are the ones I didn't pick.
Right.
Must be all right. All right. So let's play some cards first. Do we want to make a new creature or what? Don't know if we can do that right now. Yeah, I don't know if we could do that right now. Everything's aging out, aging twice, right?
Yep. Everything's going to age twice.
And so if you have a species that only has 1 fish on it, it's going to go extinct.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think this guy's got to be symbiotic twice. And I'll keep him alive. And we can play a second card, may as well. Let's go. We're still at a limit of 2.
Yes, we are still at a limit of 2.
Well, maybe I won't play a second card. I really have nowhere to put it. Unless I replace
You could
something.
move fish around.
Yeah, you just migrate with it.
Oh, good point. Yeah, I guess we could do that.
Do you want to make it so you're no longer limited on how many cards you can have or something like that?
No, I think I'm going to throw stuff in the reef and just eat it. Seems like the thing to do. Let's throw... let's play 10.
Okay.
We have 5. We're actually going to move them in the reef because I want to eat that.
Welcome to the reef.
Now, can they split up? Can I throw some in the reef, some in the different parts of the ocean?
No, it's
all
one.
All in one place.
Yeah, one card, one move.
All right, and so speed tentacle schooling guy is gonna feed twice from the reef, which will give me the symbiotic on the left. That's gonna earn 4 from the ocean. Oh, prior to that, I'm leeching these 2. Because I have to.
Right.
And then these come in. And then everything's going to age. Middle guy's going to age 3 times. The others twice. 2, 3, and 1, 2. All right, into the bag. And then, how's everyone doing the deep cards? Drawing 2?
Draw 3.
Draw 3.
You draw 3 and look at one, or you can just take one face up.
So I'm down by 2 cards. Would I do that twice? The drawing 3? Or would I just choose 2?
I don't know.
You're down by 2 cards, is what you're saying in your thing. No, so you'll with the deep kind of overrides what your hand size is for the moment, right? So you'll do that before you would discard anything, including surface cards.
Oh, I haven't discarded anything. I just played them.
So yeah, you could draw 3 and keep 2.
No, you draw 3 and you keep 1 always. It's either draw 1 from the face up or draw 3 from the deck and discard 2.
Sure, but if he's got another space in his hand, can he then do that again?
How do I get
I don't
back
believe
to
so.
6?
The rules just say draw. Yeah, you get 1 deep card per round.
Okay, got it.
Now, would I draw from the other deck to get to the 6th card?
To fill the rest?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You'll still draw. You'll always draw surface cards to get back up to your 6.
Gotcha. All right. Going through here. Huh. This card mentions a cost. What is the cost of a species?
So the deep cards have the cost in the bottom left that you have to pay from your bag to play that card. That might be what it's referring to, but I'm not.
Okay, that makes sense.
Not certain.
That's
okay, cool.
extreme. It's kind of weak, but yeah, pretty good. Where does the cost normally go, like for these deep cards?
To the reef or any ocean zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
The reason I asked is this card here. I'm not taking that.
Migratory Exodus.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the cost into another player's score pile and take one of their species with population. Wow.
But
pay 10 of your own.
Yeah, 10 to someone's bag. I'm like,
yeah, but you get to take their engine. That's actually incredible.
Yeah, but we're not really using
that engine can get you more than 10 points.
That's the thing. Yeah.
By the end of the game, sure, yeah. I mean, if you've got a number of turns left, I mean,
am I good?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the end of the game coming up. So
Sure, had that one come out right when we triggered the Cambrian explosion, then yeah, absolutely. You might have a couple more turns where you could absolutely get your points back on that.
mhm.
It's really good, especially if somebody had already played, say, I come back to the Leviathan quite often because it has a 9 attack. It's massive, so it's just constantly destroying other species as it goes.
Mhm.
All right, I'm starting a new species over here. I am foraging, and every parasite is gonna also pull one from my forage here. So if you got a parasite, grab one from there. And not all of them, not all of them.
I can't. It's so imprecise. Sorry.
Do you have a parasite?
And then that forage triggered the symbiotic there, and these are gonna all age. And I'm done. Well, I mean, I'm gonna. Oh, I forgot I got a second card. I'm crazy. I totally forgot I got a second card.
Mhm.
Probably would be the thing for me to do to actually put a speed card on this guy as well, and all that was going to do is just net me 2 more out of the forage. That's all I
Because
wanted
you add
that
it
for.
all together,
So,
right?
What is it?
You're adding those numbers together.
Oh yeah. You add the forage all together, right? And I'm gonna to take another deep card, and that'll be it for me.
Cool. So, yeah, I'm kind of tired of being limited. So,
We don't like the limit.
Oh no.
All right, deep cards getting out of there. No longer limited.
okay, just want to make sure I had enough there. All right, so 11 had been moved there. We're no longer limited by that reduced. I'm going to pay 1. I'm going to play Extreme of File. This species now may never go extinct.
Just kind of gonna sit there and
functions similar to Speed, where it can have an extra trait, and it cannot be leached by your little bastard parasitic guy, and it never overpopulates.
Yeah, it's just gonna kind of sit there. That's fine.
Yeah, fine. And then I'm going to have.
Essentially, we're no longer adjacent.
Right, it breaks that adjacency. Sort of. Yeah.
I mean, for the the functionality of what's going on here. Oh, I didn't get my last card. I completely forgot that. All right. I mean, I didn't want that card, but whatever. Yeah, it's fine.
Uh-oh. Where'd it go? I don't think I grabbed it, I guess.
It's over here on my side.
Where is it? Oh, I could put it back. I never even looked at it. Shuffle anyway.
Okay, so I did my thing. Now going to age out.
He is claiming he forgot a card, but I think he's good now. Yeah, he's up to 6. I had forgotten it too. It's fine.
What are we talking about?
Someone asked to Sagan claiming he forgot a card.
Southern Board Game Fest is claiming that.
Yep. I don't know who's operating that account.
Yeah, who knows?
And that's me.
I don't know whether they're gonna try to call you a liar.
Yeah, they always do. We can go back and check the tape.
Yep. Check the tape.
Go back and check the tape. It's going to be recorded. Analyze my gameplay.
Wait a second. This is recorded?
I mean, honestly, I don't have a very strong sense of how this game is going for me, but I feel like it's going kind of bad.
I see it in the Facebook
Well, I
as
mean,
well.
it's fairly. I mean, you just kind of look at your stash. If that's in the double digits, you're probably doing pretty good. If you've got a bunch of fishies on your boards right now, those are going to each count as one at the end of the game. So you're probably doing pretty good there.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'm just saying I don't know how much is in everybody else's stash. It's hard for me to judge my just by the game feel of like how things are going. You know?
Sure.
So I must play 2 cards.
Correct. Whether or not that's a trait or a migration.
Yep. It's true.
Okay. Can I play a deep card for its migration cost? I mean, as a migration card.
I believe. Yeah, you can. It still also functions as that.
Okay, I'm gonna play that. I think it just goes out of the game.
Tiny little migration of 1 fish.
I just don't want that card. I misread it whenever I took it.
Oh.
Does not score during aging. That part.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
And then I'll
Could
play
be good on the right
this
card.
Gotcha. I mean, it's not a bad card if you have something next to it that's parasitic.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for a refresh at the end.
There's the limit in town again.
We're back to the limit. That didn't last long.
Get that guy out of here.
Doesn't have to be that
and
one.
And then my
leech just has to change
goes
a little
off
bit.
First and leeches something from this dude. And then he's going to forage for 5.
Whale cleaner kicks in.
And then I'm going to age. Back to you, Jesse. Oh, I'm going to draw cards, but yeah, back to you.
All right. First card I'm playing is another speed card. This is going to cost me 2.
Extremely fast.
Yeah, very fast. So the 2 just comes from the wherever, I guess.
From your point bag.
Oh, from my point bag. Okay.
Right.
So 2, 1.
And they go into any ocean zone.
Cool. Yeah, let's put it over here. I want to keep some of these things alive. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. So the parasite's got to do his thing, which means there's going to be another overpopulation.
Non-negotiable parasite.
Which is fine. Let's throw it in the reef. There's a lot of stuff in the reef.
The reef is teeming.
All right. So, yeah, we're good on here. So I need to attack something. Let's attack. I wish I was paying more attention to who's scoring what. I feel like Ronald's been pretty quiet as far as scoring stuff. I'm going to attack a 5. I can take 3. If I just do 5, though, in the reef, then I won't overpopulate. That might be the way to go. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just take 5 from the reef.
Okay.
For this middle guy. And Symbiotic's going to kick in for 4. From
Only 2, right? You only did 1 forage.
Oh, you're right. I only did it once, which is fine as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it once. So that's for 2.
Okay. All right.
And then I'm ready to age. And I only played 1 card. Do I want to move things around? I guess that would have happened before. So I'm not going to play another card. I don't know if is that optional.
Yes, as you may play 2 cards.
Okay, because if I had to, I would just migrate things. But
or no, it doesn't say you may. It says play 2 cards per turn instead of 1. So you have to play another one even for the migrate.
Right.
I
that's
think.
fine. Then I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna
was
migrate
for your
7.
second.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just pick something that wouldn't really affect anything. Reef is
it's
filled.
going to affect something.
Well, I mean,
because as soon as the
my
ocean
turn.
board is done, the game is going to end.
Yeah,
you trigger the one last round for everybody.
Okay.
Deep cards 3.
Let's see what I'm going to do here. Probably need to see here 1. Okay. I'm going to replace this card with that card for my first card, and then I'm going to replace this card with this card, my second, and I'm going to go ahead and forage with this guy. So it's going to gain 10.
Oh, that's
and
an incredible
then
card.
I'm gonna leech.
It's hold on, let me just. So
If you're foraging,
right, I'm foraging, but I need to figure out.
I looked this up already.
For what?
You finish all this stuff before you find out if it got overfed.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna finish all this before it gets overfed. But what I'm saying is, do I just go up to the 10 right now and then start feeding these parasitics out from that, or do I? Oh, I guess these 2 would have gone for the first parasitic anyway. But
is it pulled from the total?
Do I go up to?
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. I'm asking if it pulls from the total or if it pulls from just the 10.
Just the 10 as far as I know. Once your board's full,
I would assume it pulls from the 10. But all right, so I'm going to throw these 3 back, and then everybody who's got a parasitic get one of these over here.
Over here, okay.
So like this parasitic's going to get 1, this parasitic's going to get 1, and then these are all going to go onto that.
I see.
And I assume that everybody who needed a parasitic got a parasitic, and then I also pull 1 from here. From this symbiotic, and I'm going to gain 3 more from Whale Cleaner, which is going to pull from this, which is going to end the game, or rather it's going to trigger the end of the game, so everyone else is going to be able to finish out. And I don't think there's any purpose in me continuing to draw cards, right, Jeremy?
Not technically, but I mean, you'll still draw to fill your hand. It's just for whatever reason. Yeah, because I believe you won't get another turn.
Right. Yeah, because I'm first player, so.
Oh.
Okay. So there we go. This is the final round.
Countdown. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, and I age. I didn't do that again.
Which means like add 20 more points to your score at the end.
You can have like 8 points.
I've forgotten
at the end of the game.
so many times.
All right. So
it is so much harder for me to do upkeep on like Tabletopia or Tabletop Simulator. Like on a physical board game, I wouldn't forget, or on a fully automated game, obviously it does that for you. But since this is in the middle, like every time it comes to scoring points, I'm just like, yeah, that was a good turn. I had it all planned out. All right.
Yeah. Everything moved just like it should, and then no scoring. All right, Jeremy.
Okay. So I'm going to do this first.
Oh, moving stuff into the reef.
Those are even harder to see than the clownfish.
A little bit.
They look great in the ocean, but not.
Oh yeah. Everything looks great in the ocean because it's super
I didn't
dark.
even know those were there.
All right, so yeah, I migrated 10 from the Ocean Zone 3 to the Reef. Then I'm going to play...
If you just put your camera at an extremely low angle, they just really pop out a little tiny bit.
Yep.
Crap, I'm not going to play that. I lie. 1, 2,
Nice.
3. Yeah, okay.
Who's getting fed?
I'm actually going to use this guy to attack your parasitic whale cleaner for 1.
Okay.
And gain 2 after the species to the right is attacked. Cool. I think that takes care of my play 2. Now I've got to age everything. And then why not?
Why not?
We never had one species the whole game go extinct, so
yeah, it's actually, I mean, it just means that we're all really good at managing our upkeep.
Playing soft.
I think we're all just conservative players. Like, I'm not going to create a situation where I can conceivably even die. Why would I do that?
All right.
Probably should have, honestly.
Yeah, I want to say like my first 2 or 3 games, until I got to the second half after the Cambrian explosion, like I was going extinct constantly because I wasn't paying attention to my second and third species.
I don't think it's such a bad thing though, because you're just scoring from the aging, so multiple species could be a good thing. But you're constantly falling behind a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're managing that, you're getting it. The more, obviously, the more species you have early on, the more you're going to get. And then later on, when it's aging by 2, it's even more. But it gets harder to manage unless you've built at least in my opinion, there's usually going to be one like heavy hitter that you create. And then the other ones are either going to leech or have a symbiotic relationship with that one to gain all of their stuff.
Yeah.
My question was like how is it my turn?
It is.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna do is move some fish around. I'm gonna move 5 fish over here into the middle section. Which are not very well done.
We no longer
Because
have
otherwise I can't add a trait. And then I'm going to bring out the C-Rex.
C-Rex.
Ah,
Aging +2. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then this little dude here, this feeder, is going to get 5 fishes.
I'm going to
from
whale
in
clean
here,
that
which I already pulled here.
since I'm right next to you.
Also, this parasite has to take 2 from here before I did the feeding.
it's going to
I always forget to
overpopulate.
do that beforehand.
Yeah, he overpopulates.
Yep.
Then. 5 go back.
After a species overpopulates, adjacent species lose 3 population to the reef. That's huge.
Oof. He's right in the middle too.
Well, maybe I don't.
Oh,
want
that
then.
that hurts. You don't. You could just replace the parasitic with the card that you played instead.
True.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Kill
going to do. Let's do that. So let's put these 2 back over here. I don't want them. Because all of that stuff happening is not part of my giant plan.
I mean, you still would have survived from it, but you wouldn't have been able to
That was
age
that.
them.
Well, that
Then
would
it
have been
would've
an
died.
11-point hit for you.
Yeah, that would have been bad because I would have had nothing on this
Yes.
card left to take.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then for my aging, I'm just gonna do my aging.
So you said
I get to age 2 extra from this.
Well,
fish.
you get the fish that are on your population tracks at the end of the game. You don't have
Correct.
to age them to get points.
Oh,
So
okay. Didn't know that.
Oh,
yeah, the end game is the aged plus just whatever's out there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you'll get your aged. You'll get 1 point per surviving species, and then 1 point per population on each of those species board.
oh, okay. Well, I didn't even need to do that then, but I didn't need to bring this card out at all. I didn't need to do anything.
Well, yeah, you're right because the aging doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Okay.
Well,
Over to me.
That entire turn was useless. Go ahead, Jesse.
I think I've had several of those.
I mean, yeah, watching other people make these useless turns has me thinking about this now. It is a little different. I was gonna play this really big card,
Yeah, I should have done something completely
but
different.
it costs 4 points basically to bring out, and everybody's been spending all their fish on things. So, I mean, this might be worth it. I need to price this out a bit. Yeah, let's just do it. It seems like it'll be a fun time.
The final turn. That's the kind of attitude you need. Let's go for it.
Sea
Yeah,
worm.
Ah,
Cost 4. Let's see. We'll just throw this
Wow.
in here.
that's crazy.
Then we don't have to worry
Oh,
about
no.
outbreaks here. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The attack is a lot, 16. So that'll cut through some shields. But really, I'm just looking for the... Oh, I got to do the parasite. All right.
Wait, you're getting the parasite from the reserve? Aren't you supposed to pull it from this
Oh,
board?
my bad, yeah. I want him to go... before I wanted him to go down. Now I don't want him to go down, but still okay. So let's do some attacks. I mean, I'm going to get some points out of it. And it looks like just the people with the most on their board here.
Yeah.
I think since Sagan's been forgetting his points, I think I'm going to target Jeremy for 1 and Ronald for 1.
Ooh, I feel so lucky.
So I'm going to attack this this apex predator. Show him really who's the apex predator.
Apex
Apexist.
Predator.
So that's
The apexist.
yeah. His strategy all along, just to pretend, and then attacking the schooling speed filter over here For 16 minus 2, I'll take 14, but you only have 4.
14 out of 4. Man, had I had one more population there, you wouldn't have been able to attack.
So these 2 go to my bag because of the sea worm.
That thing is crazy.
And then
you had to pay only 4 out of your bag to get that
right.
out.
I had to just make sure I'm earning at least 4. So the symbiotic is going to kick in. That's the one that takes from the ocean that I was thinking of.
Right.
Gains.
If you could get that thing out early.
Not this much.
Man.
So gains 1 after attack. So it attacked twice. Yeah.
Right. And it is going to overpopulate, though, right?
Yeah. Scores population from attacks that do not fit on the species board before overpopulating.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that's that.
Yeah. And then, like you said, we don't age at the end, or we do?
You do age.
Okay.
It's just
it
doesn't really matter.
Right. Okay. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
All right.
So final score is your bag plus your point token plus all of your fish that are out on the board plus 1 per species. And that's it.
What's everyone's point token? Because mine was 0.
Mine was 7.
I guess because I had people to look at and you had no one to look at, like as far as
I was just
wow, that's worth 7 points.
I was the first one out there to get it to put myself out there and get attacked,
So that's worth 7 points. All right. Yeah, mine's 0.
Each progressive person gets more and more points. I get 4.
Right. The later in the round you go.
So I guess I could flip my little fish.
I have a solid 34 points.
I have 42.
Mm-hmm.
In the bag, 43.
32 as well.
1 point difference over here.
So what do you say? It was 32, 33,
My
34, and then Ronald had 42. Is that right?
What?
Is that what I heard?
I have 43.
Who said they had 42? Oh, Jesse had 43.
Yeah.
Sorry. So there it is. 32, 33, 34, and then Jesse's the winner with 43.
No, I have 42.
Yeah, 42, 43, and then 2 in the 30s.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 33. My fault. You said 43. That's why I was confused. I was like, wait a minute. I thought you said you had 40. Okay, no, I thought you said you had 40.
Yeah.
I think I have 1 point less than Jesse does.
Correct.
43 for Jesse, 42 for Ronald. All right, nice. Congrats.
What did you guys have?
Hooray.
34? 34. I had 34. So.
And Jeremy, what did you have?
34.
Oh, you both had 34.
Yeah, that last move, taking points from everyone, was necessary.
Sure. Well, you got 4 points from each of them, so that definitely put you over. Ronald. I was clearing away in last until you decided to have mercy on me.
Yeah. Yeah,
if I had done a different last turn than that, things might have turned out differently. But I didn't realize you were going to get points for everything that was on your board.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah,
well,
that's one of those things. Yeah, what did everybody think?
It's very similar to Evolution. I think I prefer it more. I would like to see an more aggressive game if that's possible, just to see what people can do differently. Because this was very safe.
I feel like it's possible.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
no one.
And, when you
away.
play again, you'll have different of these cards are different every time you play. So that
there's 40 scenario cards over here. We used 2 of them.
And then we're still 91 more deep cards we didn't get to either.
Look at this one. Lazy Creator. Before the game, decide as a group what this card says. It's a promo card, though. So, but still. Funny thing to exist.
Real men go to tiebreakers. That's like our game last night of Terraforming Mars. We had 3 people tied for first and then 2 people tied for second.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love so just for the record, if we do go to tiebreakers, I looked and the first tiebreaker is the most trait cards total amongst all your species, and the second tiebreaker is the first person to get a job on a fishing boat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in Alaska. Yeah, I saw that too.
Classic tiebreaker. Go get a fishing boat job.
Well, thank you for teaching.
No,
thank you for playing, everyone. I mean,
yeah, thanks
stuff.
for it was fun. It was fun, even though I got slapped around a lot. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, let's take a moment to talk about Southern Board Game Fest.
Sure. So Southern Board Game Fest is coming up soon. We're going to be having it in September this year. You can check us out on Facebook page is where we're doing a lot of our primary communication. And we're actually going to be doing a monthly live stream of games. So the way that we did it last month is we put a little poll out. So if you want to influence what game is going to get played next month, make sure to check that out on Facebook and vote for us there. And then in September, if everything goes according to plan, we are going to be back for Southern Board Game Fest here in Lafayette. So it's going to be fun.
Conventions are back.
Conventions are going to be coming back.
Whoa.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But
sure.
we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we're still playing things by ear, but the intention now is to be back in real life at UL. So that said, you can check us out on our social media links. I'm going to be posting this playthrough on our YouTube page as well. And ticketing information and that kind of stuff is going to be at our website, southerngamefest.com. So, and join our Discord server. We're going to be trying to do some weekly game nights there for just whoever wants to jump in. I'm going to start trying to get that going pretty soon. So.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Last time we played Smartphone Inc. That one actually, we brought it back to the table a few times and played ever since there. Game. So maybe we'll do this with Oceans as well and all those future games.
Yeah.
We'll give it a
We'd love to see from any people in our community how we should really play Oceans instead of how we decided to play Oceans.
Right. This is the friendliest Ocean.
We should have been taking those deep cards from the beginning and planning a strategy around the deep cards you had in your hand.
I
didn't even realize you could draw them, but we definitely should have been doing that.
Yeah, so we played the very friendly hand-holding version of Oceans, and that's okay.
Actually, there is like a beginner tutorial version, so we actually didn't play that.
Right, the Reef variant, which removes some of the more complex elements.
Played the Journeyman Oceans, but I think next game is when the teeth are going to come out.
Yeah.
Last time I was at Southern Board Game Fest, we got to meet Jason Dinger, the designer of Captains of the Golf, and we got to stream with him. That was really cool. You can check that out on our YouTube channel, iHeartBoard Games.
Yeah, we played a lot. We interviewed Gray Fox Games. We had an interview with what's his name at the table? Makes tables. Everybody has a nickname for him.
Oh no. Oh no.
I forget.
I didn't get to actually go.
His real name is Kevin.
Tabletopper is the name of the company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Berkey.
Berkey.
That's his name.
Berkey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it'll be fun to line all that up again. And I mean, there was a special guest planned for last time, but who knows if that'll still be a thing.
Again, fingers crossed. Hopefully, we can get our very special guest back. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Despite that, whatever ends up happening, we will definitely keep it Southern Board Game Fest style. We'll be doing lots of giveaways, and as always, 100% of our proceeds are going to go to benefit New Hope, which is a community development organization here in Lafayette that works with under-resourced youth in the community. So.
Yeah, and
that's going to be best thing about Southern Board Game Fest is all the money goes to a good cause.
Yeah, and we streamed all day there, and everything that was donated via tips or bits, we donated everything to that.
And they appreciate it. Yep. They really do.
So that's it for today's stream. Come back tomorrow. We're playing Sunday at our usual time, 7 p.m., where we play digital games with everybody that wants to play digital games with us. Yesterday we tried Nuns on the Run, a digital version of that for the first time. It went pretty well. Let's do that. Sunday Nun Day. And for now, we're going to raid over to Melissa Singh's putting together a puzzle over there. So I'm going to go see how much progress she's making over there. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for joining us, players. Jeremy, Sagan, Ronald. And until next time, the box is closed. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.